Okay. Here's the sound. I assume it's all good. Um, is this better? Yeah, I think it's a little bit better. It's a little laggy. It's an iPhone camera, but whatever. One thing I've been meaning to talk about lately, not gonna lie, is there's this Instagram reel that I've been wanting to make. Well, bro, this fucking music is fucking up my thoughts, bro. Anyways, what the main thing that I've been thinking recently? Yesterday I was trying to make an Instagram reel and I couldn't because it was just too windy outside. And whenever I tried to record the sound, it just sounded god awful, bro. So I couldn't. I recorded the video, I re listened to the audio, and it was horrible. I couldn't post that, bro, because no one would be able to really understand it. And those that did would be pretty slim to none because no one would want to watch the video where they can barely understand what they're saying. But in that video, I was basically just saying if you're a young entrepreneur or you're somebody who wants to be successful, something that you need to start doing every single day is find half an hour or an hour to do absolutely nothing, right? You're probably thinking, do nothing? That sounds so stupid. Why would I do that? Why would I waste my time doing nothing? That's so unproductive. And sometimes in some ways it might be unproductive, but it's great because of this, right? When you're doing nothing and you don't have your phone and there's nothing consuming your time, there's no media, there's no distractions. This is so nice and beneficial, right? And I'll tell you why it's beneficial, because a lot of your day you are not bored very often. And a lot of your day you have something, consuming your attention, and your mind is thinking and doing these things, watching these videos, getting that dopamine, whatever, right? And that's fine. I watch videos too on my phone. I watch reels. I'll scroll on Instagram. I think that's kind of a given, right? But what I'm saying is, when you don't have any of that and you just let your mind be empty, there's so many thoughts that are going to come across your mind that you will never have had before because of your time and conscious and attention being consumed, right? So today I was outside and I was thinking, and I talked about this kind of in my previous video, but in my previous relationship, uh, at a moment in there, I struggled with if I was doing enough, right, for my partner, and if I was doing as much as I could, right? And honestly, for that while, it kind of fucked me over, and I was like really stressed. I thought a lot of things inside of that were my fault, even though they weren't, And eventually, I had to learn, you know, all of these things that are happening are not my fault. They're not my fault, and that I'm doing my very best. I'm doing my very best, and that's all that matters, right? As long as you're doing your best, that's the only thing you should take away from something like that. And I think that's good. And the reason I mention this is because of this next point, okay? When I was outside and I was thinking not too long ago, maybe an hour ago, I recorded some B-roll background footage because I thought this video would be more interesting with it and more entertaining. But anyways, that hour ago or something, I was outside and I was thinking, I was doing my daily pondering, right? Like I'm mentioning. And I was thinking, I know I'm going to be successful. I know I'm going to make plenty of money. And I know I'm going to achieve everything I've ever wanted to achieve. I'm going to be the best possible version of myself. And that is never going to stop. That's never going to go away. I will be successful, right? I'm no longer stressed about being successful. You know, if you talk to me maybe 6 months ago, I'd be thinking, how I'd be so unfathomably stressed. The burden on my shoulders of having to be successful would be so heavy, bro. Because I knew I had to be. Now, I know I will be. And I feel a lot better, right? I know that I'm doing everything I can and that I will be successful, right? And I thought, this kind of mentality, right, it was applicable to what I mentioned before in my previous relationship. I had to learn that, hey, I'm doing everything that I can, regardless of what she does. It's not my fault. I'm doing what I can, and that is what it is, right? And I think it's the same thing with business, right? That I don't give a shit how many times I fail. I don't give a shit how much time I waste. I know I will be successful because I'm doing everything that I need to do to be successful. I'm doing the most, right? And it's the same thing with my previous relationship, right? And I think everybody needs to start incorporating that mentality and mindset into their life, because you're going to be so much happier and so much, I mean, you're going to be so less stressed. Like I mentioned before, I was really stressed, honestly, bro. I thought if I, couldn't succeed, I might as well kill myself, right? But I know I will succeed. I know I will. I'm certain I'll succeed. And it's a given, honestly, in my opinion, right now. Right? I'm doing everything right. I'm working hard every single day. My sister called me yesterday, and she's like, "Hey, Boston, what are you up to?" She just wanted to know how I was doing and give a life update. And I asked her how she was doing and whatever. I was like, "Oh, I'm just at my desk working," and she's like, "Oh, I got it. Of course you are, right?" Because I work as often as I do, and that's just a given, right? I'm going to be successful. I'm going to make plenty of money. I'm going to achieve everything, right? So I think the thing you should take away from this, and the thing you should take away from all of this ranting, I guess, and talking, is you should employ this mentality into a lot of things in your life, right? Because I'm sure there's plenty of things in your life that you work really hard on, right? You may not think you work hard on, but you genuinely care about them, whether it's a person, a future, a success story, I don't know. But you're doing everything you can, and there's no need to stress over the outcome because you understand that you're doing the most. So regardless of the outcome, regardless of if you're in a relationship and something bad happens, whether they leave you or something worse happens, I don't know, or whether you're an entrepreneur and you think, I can't succeed, it doesn't matter because you're doing everything you can. You need to succeed, so you will succeed, right? So you need to detach yourself from the emotion of being stressed and overthinking and thinking you might fail, because you're doing everything you need to do. And quite frankly, I don't give a fuck about failing. I don't give a shit about failing. In fact, I'm happy to fail because I know failing is an essential part of growing and improving and then winning. You cannot fucking win unless you fail. You need to fail in order to win. And today, when I was having this thought process, I really grew to understand that. And that's the reason why I was making this video, is so you can take that away too. And with that being said, this is the end of the video. I hope you took something away from it. There's many more to come. And anything of value that it comes into my life or my pondering, I will share it here. And I wish you all success, especially if you made it this far in the video. And thank you so much for watching.